everyone. Welcome back to the Saucy Sibz podcast.
Hello, I'm Francesca.
I'm Nicodemus.
And we're siblings.
See, I think that's funny.
I made him restart it because I didn't like it, and then I couldn't think of anything else.
the Saucy Sibz podcast, and we are siblings. Francesca, where are we?
We are at our friend Zach, the Curator Extraordinaire and owner of House of Vibes. We are at his even vibier abode right now. Zach, welcome.
Hello, Saucy Sibz.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be on Saucy Sibz.
It's your first podcast, right?
First podcast, so let's try this out.
Yeah, we just showed up. We had a little charcuterie. Nick, what are we drinking?
Okay, so we wanted to find a wine that kind of fit like Zach's vibe, and we found this. Also, our apartment is purple, and so we found this like purple wine from Sicily, and it's got like a weird bat demon dog on it called Osmodeus, and we were like, yes,
because that it fits right in with Zach's vibes. You're gonna have to look at the Instagram and see his place. You're gonna have to check out House of Vibes. But, you know, one thing about Zach is he has the hookup on bat skeletons in the county.
I've got the hookup on bat skeletons.
So it was like absolutely fitting.
House of Vibes is the cutest little coffee shop in Silverthorne, Colorado, which is near where we live in Frisco. And when you first walk into it, it really is like kind of, you notice what's happening immediately.
Like you're transported somewhere else. You're
Yeah.
like, oh. And then you immediately whip out your Instagram because you're like, I can't like let this like not get grammed.
Yeah, exactly. How would you describe it, Zach?
You know, I it's a house of vibes. Like we got crystals, we got skulls, we got plants, we got weird books, we got coffee, desserts. It's all a vibe. It's all a vibe.
It's literally like the whole time, the music, everything is so curated that like you sound ridiculous because you just want to be like, God, it's just like such a vibe. And then you look at Zach and you're like, God, House of Vibes. Like really, it's the perfect name.
It's literally called House of Vibes. I know. I thought that was so funny. Just that happens to everyone that walks in, probably.
They're like, this place is really a vibe. But you know, the bar isn't that high here in Silverthorne for vibes, I feel like.
That's true. But see, this would be a vibe in LA, Brooklyn, London. Could absolutely be the coolest coffee shop we went to there. And the fact that it's in Silverthorne, like next to the fucking liquor store, it's just even better.
Well, and dispensary and pizza shop.
Oh,
Ski rentals?
Yeah, ski rentals.
It's a one-stop shop.
I am always surprised at how many ski rentals are in this county.
Well, that's what you do here.
I know, but like I just feel like there's so many. I feel like I could open one and it'd be fine. Like everybody's always like, I don't know, that might be ridiculous. Nick's like, I'm editing this out of
no, I think that's
comment.
hilarious, actually.
Maybe we start renting skis out of House of Vibes.
Yeah.
Francesca's boutique ski shop.
But they're only like wooden ones from the 60s.
Absolutely.
But then someone dies.
Yeah. Even better.
Yeah, ma'am, what type of like length should I have on these skis? And be like, well, I can't help you there.
Just take these and go.
Yeah,
Do your
really-
best.
Someone comes back and they're like, I tried to scan these. You're like, those were only for photos. Like those vintage, like bikini ski pic photos.
Yeah. Like just make sure you repost us on the gram at Francesca's.
Francesca's vintage skis. And then it's tragically someone's put out of business. So I just start, it's like my side hustle out of House of Vibes. It's like an unrated, uninsured, like vintage ski rental.
And you don't even ski.
No.
And that's the whole vibe. Like
House of Vibes.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. So we are going to dive into interviewing Zach all about House of Vibes and how he came to start it and how he got into curation. But first, Zach is just here for fun commentary because he's one of our good friends and he's hilarious. So Nick and I are going to like tell you what we've been up to this week. Speaking of curating.
Okay, guys, let me grab the mic. No, so as you know, I feel like, Francesca, we've been talking a lot about just us being homeless and us having a house.
Yeah.
But as you know, we have an apartment now in Frisco, but it's completely unfurnished. I'm talking drier than the bottles of gin that I have. Okay, they're just completely. There's
You
nothing
mean
in there.
bare? You don't describe something as dry just because it's empty.
Well, I was relating it to like a dry
Empty.
bottle of gin. Like
Okay.
there's nothing in the bottle.
Okay.
I also think that's just very Summit County.
What, to have like an empty house?
Yeah, with bottles of gin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except it's just like me. I'm living on the couch currently because like we don't have beds yet. So like Nick has my air mattress in his bedroom because he's like, I'm not fucking like I still need to be away from you and have my own room. And then I am just like sprawled on the couch, which we do have a couch now.
Okay, so when we first moved into the house, there was a couch. And it was this dusty, black, gross looking thing. And Francesca was kind of throwing a fit and was like, this couch sucks. And I'm like, well, we did get a free couch and there's literally nothing in here. Okay. And it's a nice sectional, whatever. But then she was
The
like,
black was contrasting with the lavender walls. And I was like, Nick, the color is accosting me. I need something natural. I need something brown. And he was like, all right, Francesca. So the one thing that we own right now, you want to like bother our landlord to move out just because it doesn't fit your vision for the color palette? And I was like, yes.
yes.
Well, are you saying it wasn't a vibe?
No, exactly, Zach. See, Zach understands. He's like, this is not a vibe. Get it out. Like, it was hurting me. And so I literally had to like organize, and like our landlord thought they were being awesome. It was a huge black sectional, but listen, it was giving me bad vibes.
So you found a couch online. And it was this massive brown sectional couch.
Biggest couch I've ever seen.
I've never seen a bigger couch. I mean, it really is. I'll post a photo of it on Instagram, but biggest couch I've ever seen. And so basically, we had to go get it. So we had to borrow our friend's truck, which was way out in a parking lot somewhere that we had to get because...
we had to find the truck because it was
Yeah.
just an extra truck that he left abandoned in a parking lot. And he forgot to drop us the pin before he went to sleep that night. So we just had to like guess. And it snowstormed.
It snowstormed, and it was probably like 10 degrees outside.
I would say it was colder.
Yeah,
it was one of the colder days.
It was like really bad. And so we had to, the guy who we were getting the couch from, like wanted us to be there by 9. So we had to go find the couch out in the snowy tundra during, post snowstorm at 9
literally
a.m.
2 feet of snow.
It was a lot.
Yeah, Zach, you can just like make fun of us, jump in here, or you can just make those faces from afar. Whatever you're comfortable with. He's uncomfortable and he's so just happy he wasn't like involved.
It feels really good not to be a part of this.
And you do own a truck, so just be glad we didn't ask you.
I'm very thankful. I'm sorry.
How Nick asked our friend Alistair, he was like, hey, what'd you say?
Oh, no. I texted him. I just said, out of nowhere, I said, you got a nice truck there. And he goes, yeah. I go, bet it's good at hauling shit.
Oh, no.
Listen, I'm sure you run into the Zach. Everyone asking you to borrow your truck.
It's a truck owner's worst nightmare.
Yeah. And you have to set boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely. When I got the truck, I was like, I'm not available to help move.
Yeah. I used to own a truck in college. So I basically, it got to a point where I just gave people the keys. And I would just see it driving down the street sometimes with a whole bunch of shit flying out the back.
That's how you have to do it because I'm not trying to put in that effort.
No, just fill up the tank of gas. Give me a case of Busch Light. Like, we're good.
100, yeah.
So anyway, we go to this guy's house. He was the sweetest old
Nick,
man.
you're missing the part where we went and found it in the abandoned parking lot, and I got my car stuck in the snow.
Yeah, you got the car stuck in the snow.
Yeah, so this is
I
the
was not
first time I
driving.
cried during the day.
Yeah, you cried because you got the car stuck in the snow. Of course, I dig it out.
Nick's like literally like fingers frozen off. He's taking like the mats and putting them under the tires so we can get some traction. I'm losing it already. It is 8:30 a.m.
And you're in the car with the heat on.
Crying while Nick is out in the snow putting mats under the tire.
Exactly, Zach. And that's when I know how this day is going to go down. Okay?
Meanwhile, you're trying to pick up a BBC, a big brown couch.
A BBC. Oh, my God. I love that.
Exactly. So it takes us about like 30 minutes. So we dig the car out. Nick saves the day. He's literally outside pushing the car.
No, snow up to my knees. I'm in jeans. But anyway, I'm actually really good at getting the car stuck out of snow because I used to drive this little car that basically it can't drive in an inch of snow, but I still did down the mountains.
Terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying.
We're happy
Totally
you're still here.
Yeah, it's just like, Mario Kart Rainbow Road and that guy. But so we get to the house with Chip. Chip was the old man. Sweetest old man.
He wasn't that old. He was like our dad's age.
Chip has the couch.
Chip has the couch, yeah. And
which he listed for free. So the reason when you list something for free, that means, hey, this is so big. I just need you to come take it out of my home. I don't want to be involved. You can have this gorgeous couch for free. And this comes from they're from Denver. They're a really nice family.
Get
so
it
I'm
away.
yeah. Well, I mean, we should have paid Chip because Chip now has spent a couple hours with us.
Well, granted, the couch was very large. And I think, I know we keep saying that, but I really want you to understand that this is an obstacle. Okay?
I mean, I saw pictures of it and it takes up the whole living room.
Well, there's 5 pieces, and one of the pieces is a whole queen size sleeper. So very heavy.
They're very heavy, yes.
Yeah. And the other side is an electric recliner.
Oh, you got an electric recliner on there?
Or maybe it just pops up.
I think it's manual.
But it's a nice recliner part.
Yeah.
But very heavy.
Heavy. And so I think Chip, being a gentleman, was kind of okay, I guess I got to get this out of my house and put it into our truck, whereas Francesca is just going to Instagram the whole thing on her story.
I didn't know what else to do besides supervise.
No, to be honest, I don't think you could have physically moved it.
Well, also, it was up. Chip should have been hey, if you're going to come, bring a few men. The world's largest couch, our BBC, is 3 flights of stairs up.
No.
Yes, and the graded outdoor snow-covered stairs, and it's down hallways, and it doesn't fit through any doorway at all. You have to do a whole trigonometry sort of wedge.
You need Pythagorean theorem.
I was using the Pythagorean theorem all day. It was, I didn't understand. We literally had to use our brains so hard to figure out how it was possibly going to fit through each doorway. And there was about 5 doorways down to the car.
I couldn't even count. There were a lot. No, and it was maybe let's try rotating it this way. Flips the couch upside down on its side. No, let's try rotating it this way. And
meanwhile, the sleeper falls out.
And you had to, Francesca, you actually said, it wasn't Pythagorean theorem. You go, I didn't know we were going to be using trigonometry today. With your phone in your hand. And I was like, you're not using shit, Francesca.
As Nick's sweating, Chip has thrown out his back.
Chip has moving gloves on. I was like, fuck, he came prepared.
The couch was in Breck. We're in Frisco, 20 minutes away. So first we had to drive from Frisco to the parking lot to get the car, then the car. But we had 2 trips, so we had to keep going back and forth all day from Breck to Frisco. Yeah, but okay. So we get it into the car and we say, wow, Chip.
Thank you so much, Chip. Handshake. You were the best. We'll come back for the other pieces in just a moment. And we're like, oh my God, so nice to meet you. Yay. Oh my God, bye. Nice.
Love you, Chip. Thanks.
Love you, Chip. Exactly.
Thanks, Dad.
And we get into the car and the car is fucking dead.
It won't start.
It won't fucking start.
Classic. Yeah.
So we had to go back to Chip and be like, hey, Chip, can you give us a jump?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
From the deserted truck you guys found in the parking lot.
And that's missing a tailgate. But then our truck is blocking Chip's car.
Oh, no.
So first Chip has to go find jumper cables. He comes out. He's like, give me a second, guys. Because I messaged him on Instagram or Facebook. And he comes out with earmuffs on and he's got gloves and a vest. And then we have to put the truck in neutral. Well, you guys had to push the truck. I was in the truck.
And me and Chip were like, 1, 2, 3, go. 1. Yeah. To push it away from the car in the snow. Dude.
So that we could get Chip's car out to jump us. So now, we've been fully adopted by Chip.
Chip, I only feel he did all this for us just because he felt like he wanted to help his kids.
Yeah. So, I feel dads hope that other dads are out there somewhere in the wild, helping their children. Like, okay, like someone would do this for my kids.
Well, as an outsider, I feel like Chip should be paying you to take this couch at this point.
Paying us?
Yeah. To get it out of his house, through the doors.
I mean,
remove it.
But it is like a really nice couch. And it's so funny because the only thing, and we'll talk about what fell out of the black couch later, but the only thing that kept falling out of this couch was money.
Yeah, like coins.
Okay, so he was paying you.
He paid us in like silver dollars.
I was like picking them up. I was like, should I give them back the money or put it in my pocket? I actually felt I put them in my pocket.
You stole the change?
I don't know. It was change on the ground. You guys were carrying a couch.
You're not going to be like, oh, here, Chip.
Put it in Chip's pocket as a tip. I didn't know what to do. I was just behind you guys picking up the money. It was like when Mario like hits one of the mushrooms.
Yeah.
That's an essential job.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was just like me and Chip like hitting our like knees on the walls and like sweating. Well, actually, when we first walked into Chip's apartment, you and I just both go, wow, that's a big couch. He goes, yeah, it's taken us a while to figure out what to do with it. And so like, I feel like that's why he did help us, because it was like, what does someone do with this? You know,
was it built into the apartment?
It should have been.
Yeah, no, it looked like he was like it.
The rafters.
It also took them so long to find a couch that could possibly like fill that space.
So Chip gives us a jump after we remove the car. I felt like I was removing like Jesus's tomb, like the Rolling Stone from Jesus's tomb, like moving the truck back. Chip jumps us. Also, on the back of Chip's car, there was like university stickers that his kids went to, also making me feel like he's like a dad. Like he's like a real dad, you know?
Yeah.
So then finally we're like, bye. After it starts, like, we're going. See you later. And he's like waving to us. And then we drive the couch to our house. First portion. Right?
We got in a fight because I was like, Nick, we have a back door. We live on the ground floor. Let's take it around the staircase and the icy steps like up to our house. Let's just go around. And he's like, Francesca, it is knee deep worth of snow. It's going to take us 3 hours to shovel this.
And you can't just walk through it.
Is this portion one piece out of the 5?
No, this is 3 of the 5 pieces.
Oh, okay. That's a big haul.
4 of the 5 pieces.
So I was like, Francesca, absolutely not. We have to take it through. It's way shorter. The shit is so heavy. We just have to lift it over the stairs and down the staircase and do this weird turn, then through the doorway and into our apartment. Not that bad, I thought.
Sure.
But I mean, I showed you. I was like, no, Francesca, please go look at the snow behind.
Yeah, no. So like I got pissed and it was like, we should have done it around. But like, to be honest, like it wasn't an option.
No way. So we tried the first piece, which was also the biggest and heaviest, to get into our apartment. Did not go well. Now, this is the first piece Francesca has had to move yet, okay? I'm already 10,000 calories into this shit, okay? Full CrossFit workout.
Listen, I'm not like cut out for hard labor.
Clearly.
It's not something I was raised for. I haven't worked out in 6 months. We've been traveling the country, living out of a car, like eating and drinking.
Yeah.
I'm not in the best shape of my life.
Well, and to be fair, I don't think anybody's cut out to move a fucking sleeper sofa.
This is why you hire people. But, you know, we don't have any money right now. So free couch, we're moving it. So we get it stuck.
We get it straight up stuck in the staircase
like
down.
We can't get it out of the staircase. We can't get it back. Like it is wedged so far into this staircase that the people who live across from us, they're never getting in their house again.
Ever. So Francesca starts crying. And I'm like, fuck, Francesca, this was literally the first piece you've moved yet. Like,
Cry number 2 of the day.
Yeah, cry number 2. And so I'm just sitting here like, you're like, Nick, what do we do? What do we do? I'm just like, okay, let's think. Maybe if we can open up the neighbor's door, we can't, which we don't know them, but we could like shimmy or pivot it to go back into their doorway, then to go back into ours because our doorways face each other. And so I was like, come on, let's push it. And I was pushing with all my strength to try to push it up the staircase so we could push it back up the staircase to pivot again to try it a different way. And I said, and Francesca,
I had full meltdown.
Full meltdown. And I'm just sitting here like about to get crushed.
This is an absolute disaster in the hallway.
Because it's like I was trying to like keep it off of him to get crushed, but then instead of keeping going, I like threw my hands up and was like had full meltdown, and like then Nick almost died.
Zach, we're not even 20% there. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm thinking in my mind. Like,
so
fuck,
far to go.
This is the first piece. Half the couch is like in a different town right now. Like,
oh, no.
And I was like, do we just abandon it?
This couch lives
but
here.
like we have to get it out. So
Then, okay. Man
the door opens. There's a bright light.
up the staircase, a man named Armando just opens up the door and was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Oh my God, I already love Armando.
No, I don't. No, Armando. I almost gave him all the money in my wallet because I was
He
like,
and his wife have come to save us. She is this tiny little Hispanic woman, and she could lift 3 times as much as I could.
"Oh yeah, no, I mean."
She's done hard labor before.
Oh no, you could tell.
She was solid.
And I was like, thank God, someone but me. Because I was like, because I'm going to have to move this couch in by myself. And turns out Armando is actually our landlord's mover.
Like, he's the maintenance man.
Oh.
And he was coming to get the black couch out of our apartment.
Because she had to pay him to remove it because, I had a fit.
Armando's like, I've done this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even Armando was like, this is a heavy couch. Why is it so big? And I'm just like, Armando, I know.
So we come up with a plan. Armando takes the hinges off our front door.
With a fucking hammer.
Yeah. He's like,
shit.
I've got tools. He doesn't speak great English. But he's like, I got it. And he comes back with tools, and he's like, his hammer literally takes it off the hinges, and he just gets to work. Like, Armando has moved some shit.
Yeah, and it was what still kills me was the timing. Because what would you have done, Zach? If you just had crying Francesca.
I think the couch would be living there. I'm not sure. I think it would still be there to this day.
I think so too. I wouldn't. I was like, do we take the banister off the hinges too, or not hinges?
What hinges can we remove?
Yeah, no, well, yeah, like, does this wall need to be here? Because that's what we were gonna have to do, like sledgehammer. Like, I didn't know we did break part of the stairs.
Just a small part.
It's fine. I kicked
Just
it.
a oopsie
kicked
poopsie.
it somewhere. No one's gonna know it was us.
There goes my security deposit.
Yeah. But anyway, basically Armando and his wife, like, I feel like it was quick. Like, you guys carried those pieces in like 30 minutes.
He was a mover.
Yeah.
I mean, he had muscles more than me.
No, he was like a very skinny Hispanic man though, but like he had dad strength.
Definitely dad strength. God, dads of the world. Thank you.
I need Armando's number at this point.
Yeah. Seriously.
And it was funny because we actually text our landlord. We were like, oh my God, like Armando, we met Armando. And she just goes, isn't he great? And we're like, you don't even know how much we like Armando.
So
okay?
no, she's like, wait, I have to pay Armando double because he helped you move your shit. Didn't mention that. But
yeah, we didn't say that part.
no, so we get the couch in and he's like, wow. Like, he's just like, that's the largest couch I've ever seen. But then we have to move the black couch out.
Which I kind of felt like he was there to move the black couch out, which was 1,000,000 times easier and lighter and smaller. But I felt like his wife didn't, or the woman he was with, I don't know if they were married or anything, but the woman that he was with, I felt like she didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And like I was clearly probably better at moving the black couch out than she
For sure.
was. So
like we
maybe
did
it was
you're
like
saying it was like
a
you
quid
actually-
pro quo.
Okay. Sorry.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Except my couch is way bigger. BBC.
BBC.
Exactly. So
We're moving the black couch out. And so you remember how our big brown couch just dropped money? This couch, on the other hand, there was a goddamn chicken bone. A drummy.
A drumstick falling out.
There was a half-eaten drummy.
Oh
and
my
like
God.
Lucky Charms and like
Pasta.
It sounds like Unlucky Charms. Yeah, pasta. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what, Nick? I told you it was giving me a bad vibe.
and the moment I saw the chicken bone fall out, I was like, get this fucking couch out of here.
There's only only a type of person who loses a chicken bone in their couch, and that's a wook.
Well, to be honest, I could probably sell that in the shop.
The chicken bone or the couch?
Bring it in. We'll put a price tag on it. Yeah.
There is like a lot of taxidermy in the shop and stuff. Oh my God, could you imagine? Be like, listen, this chicken bone is from Saucy Sibz episode 13.
Preserved in the black couch.
Yeah. There's a story to this.
Timeless.
Actually, when we were moving the brown couch, like Chip was like, whoa, no, because he was like the sunniest person I've ever met.
Oh my
He
God,
just
yeah.
the whole time had like the best attitude as like I was freaking out. And Chip was like, well, now you got a couch with a story. And I was like, just you wait. Like
Couch with a podcast episode.
exactly. Wait, did I taste yours? I forget.
Yeah, you did. What did you think of this
I
wine?
don't remember.
Sorry, we just had to open up another bottle of wine. So, Zach, where were we?
Chicken bone fell out of the couch.
Chicken bone fell out of the couch. Okay.
And we're going to sell it at House of Vibes.
I think that's a hilarious idea.
It's long gone.
We'll sell it online. Okay, so it's all said and done. Okay.
The couch is in.
We
How much do you like the couch? Like, so now, like at first, Nick was like, Francesca's being a little bitch, and I can't believe I've been through a 6-hour couch moving debacle just because she didn't like the fucking color. But like, how great is the
No,
couch?
the couch was good. I will say that it was physically demanding, mentally demanding, and emotionally demanding.
Like, nobody wants to move a couch.
That's actually like straight up not a good time.
Not a good time.
But this couch in particular, how much does it fill the space?
I am overjoyed every time I see it.
Yes.
A couch with a story.
Yes.
Well, I know you guys are proud of it. Like, Nick, you sent me a picture of it. Francesca, you've shown me a picture of it. So all the work that you guys put into it is obvious. Like, you're proud of it. I mean, as you should be after chicken bones were falling out of it.
Yeah. No, not this one. This one only money fell out. But the other one, like, we made the right
yeah,
decision. And now we're just so excited to curate our space.
Exactly. And so we've been going to House of Vibes, and Francesca and I were basically like, we want our space to look like House of Vibes. Maybe not quite as vibey, but definitely.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, we want like, well, we don't want to completely copy
That's
either.
what I meant. That's
so
what I
it's
meant.
like, it's not just like, hey, let's buy everything in House of Vibes, because everything is on sale there. Except he did say no to me about one of the lamps.
The lamp, I mean, we're sitting next
I
to
know.
the matching one.
Yeah, he was like, listen, this is my lamp for my personal house as a placeholder. He goes, and it's Restoration Hardware. So
Because we
like,
sold the last lamp that was sitting there.
yeah, he was like, but listen, it's RH and you can't afford it. It's like, that's true.
RH, Restoration Hardware. I love that.
Which Zach didn't know that the big Restoration Hardwares in the big cities have like the vibiest like restaurants.
I'm going to straight up fly to Chicago or New York
Yeah.
to go to a Restoration
No, it's
Hardware.
the best brunch place in Chicago is
my
Restoration
God.
Hardware.
It's called Restoration Hardware.
Restoration Hardware, Nick, is like the most expensive, coolest furniture store in the world. Not true.
Isn't it
but,
owned by like Pottery
it's, like,
Barn?
I don't know.
and-
It's a chain for sure, but it's like the best. But like, it's
good.
literally like just industrial. It like everything isn't like that amazing. It is, but the amount that they charge for it, you're like, I'm sorry, this is a metal trunk. You didn't invent the metal trunk. Why is it $9,000?
And there's like 5 million of them out
Yeah.
there.
Because like you can tell when something's like from Restoration Hardware. It's like very big, like bulky,
Okay.
Nuts and bolts.
Yeah, but in the big cities, they're like 4 stories, and they have a very fancy restaurant in them,
I have to go.
which is smart because if you're drunk and you're rich in these cities and you're in Restoration Hardware, you're like, I fucking need that couch,
They're like bottomless mimosas. Come shopping.
and you get to like run around the store drunk. It's
Zach.
like so fun.
Don't you think we need that trunk?
100% yes.
Could you imagine if we had like an unlimited credit card? Like you'd just be like, if we were those people, like, you'd just be like, yeah, like you absolutely need it. You're like, okay, but it's like $9,000, Zach, and he's like, but like it'll make the space.
Yeah,
Such a
it's
good
worth
piece.
it. It's worth it. Yeah. Take out another loan.
Yeah.
Swipe that credit card.
Call your dad.
Chip.
Chip. Listen, Chip, can you come help us move this? We're
in Chicago.
No, but I told Nick that like I felt like if I got pulled over, I needed someone to pick me up from jail in Summit County. Like I think Chip would come get me.
1,000%.
I know. He's our
Fuck yeah,
dad now.
Chip. Like,
We gained a couch and a father. I don't know.
Oh my God.
for Father's Day, you give him the chicken bone.
No, but you know what I do? It's on my to-do list to send Chip like a photo of the couch in the new space. Like I just wanted to let him know like we made it. It's there. And,
Smooth
like,
sailing,
yeah,
Chip.
and like the couch is in like a gourd. It's in a good home. When I had to sell all my shit when we left Summit County 4 fucking months ago, which is like honestly like I get upset and I have to think like everything happens for a reason. Like move on, Francesca. The past is the past. It's a sunk cost. But like I had curated a whole room and I had a lot of furniture. And when we moved to Aspen, I sold all of it
Yeah.
for pennies.
I owned a duffel bag and that was it.
Well, yeah.
Smart. That's
Nick was
smart.
like,
That's
we're
smart.
moving in today. And then he sent me, he was like, asterisk, sets duffel bag down.
Yeah. I just don't have a lot of things. I have a snowboard. I have a teapot.
Essentials.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
He has like 4 t-shirts, 2 pairs of jeans, a leather
I
jacket.
have 3 pairs of jeans.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah, you're
That's a
like
dream.
stuff guy.
So-
But you also like own a home. Remember how you thought he was a tourist?
A what?
A tourist.
Taurus, not a tourist.
Oh, I was like, Nick, you thought I was a tourist?
No, Taurus.
I say
Taurus.
words wrong
No,
sometimes.
the bull.
This guy's been on Grindr for 3 years. Like, I think he's just visiting.
I've known who you were, like pretty much, like, except actually.
Explain to straight people why you know who he is from Grindr.
Because like Grindr's based
it's
on
different
location.
than- yeah,
you don't
so-
match with people.
You don't match with people. So on Grindr, you can just see a whole, because if I didn't have a gay brother, I wouldn't know this. You just see basically a checkerboard of all the men in your area.
It's the closest 100 gays to you.
Yes.
So, but I've
No, I
seen you
agree.
on Grindr or Scruff.
Maybe both. I don't know.
I have
Oh
both.
my God.
I have both.
Nick's always messaging people. I am someone like, I have Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. I just get tipsy and swipe, and I have like never said anything to anyone on it.
I'm just a networker. What about you?
I'm just seeking validation, really. Like,
I think it's an ego boost. That's why I have it. It's terrible.
it's there for a reason. You know?
Yeah.
Whatever your reason may be. It depends on the hour for me. Yeah.
That's true.
I feel that for sure. And what town I'm in?
Right.
Denver. Looking at you.
Oopsie.
But okay, so now Francesca and I are in this process of furnishing our home. And I am not that good with interior design. Francesca, I feel like you have a gift because of her mother. But Zach, I think you are actually like a star.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's something I think you either have or you don't have. I have good taste. So I think that I can say I like this and I don't like this, but like I don't have the gift of visualizing what would be good together and visualizing in the space.
Right.
Which is just something I think people's brains work differently.
Well, I think if you have a taste, like it's there, like you know what you like, and then I think it's important to just expand on that. Like, this is what I like let's create it and put things in here, move it around. Like, it takes like 5 times of moving things around for it to work.
Okay, so this is good advice.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you were expand on that, like someone who has no idea kind of how to start and they just have an empty space, like what would you say their first step is?
Right. So I just bought this house. And
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Homeowner over
Thank
here.
you. And my mom, who I got a lot of the interior design stuff from, she was like, Zach, don't go crazy. Like right off the bat, she's like, let the space speak to you.
Ooh.
Because you're going to get a bunch of things that end up not working. So it's like, take time. It doesn't just like come the next day. And like start placing things and like figure out your style, like what you want to go for. Like, do you want to have mid-century modern? Do you want to have minimalist? Do you want to have maximalist? Pick a color palette and like kind of pick a theme maybe. And then just keep on expanding on that and it'll grow itself eventually.
Interesting.
I love that.
I think, Francesca, we've been in our place for how many days? 12 or 11 days now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why isn't it perfect?
I know, and
Why
we've
does
got to
it feel
like
like
slow
this?
down. Which right now, since we're kind of furnishing it for free, I did have like a Target extravaganza the other day. But
You gotta have those every once in a while.
yeah. And but actually Meg and Em, who are also friends with Zach, kind of also how we know Zach, they spent an entire day. I was supposed to go into work. I was like going to pick up a shift because like I obviously need the money. But then Meg and Em like offered to like hang out with me all day and kind of help me go through stuff. And we went to like Tuesday morning and Target.
Love Tuesday morning.
Okay, Tuesday morning. Who the fuck do they think they are?
Right, I know.
No, they're supposed to be like this sort of discount, like funky stuff. They were outrageously priced.
Really?
Oh my God. I was so excited because I was like, oh, they have some like good stuff. And they wanted like every like hutch was like $700.
Okay, yeah. their
Mirrors were
furniture is
like 200.
expensive.
Oh my God. They were out of control.
But like live, laugh, love signs are only like $12.
No, they were. Megan like sent to the group chat and was like, gather. We're
Gather,
gonna gather
yeah.
at the
And
home.
cursive, yeah.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
If someone bought that for our house, I don't like as a
Gather.
I would almost put it up like ironically, but then I would be scared that people wouldn't know that it was ironic. Right?
I think out of the whole friend group, I think you're safe with the gather sign. Ironically.
I think so.
I still can't.
But do you want that in your house?
No.
Does
I
it fit with the
don't.
theme?
Honestly, when I hear the word gather, I think of a whole bunch of like geese hanging out by a fucking like lake pond outside the
Is
like
it
a, like
is
an
it
office complex.
is a group of geese called a gather?
It not
Wait,
it should
what is
be.
it? I'm googling this right now. No, but like
I think goose is just geese. Hold on.
Oh.
it's a gaggle.
Oh, a gaggle. Oh, a gaggle of geese.
Now that is a sign I would put up in my house. In
Gaggle.
cursive.
Everyone just gaggle.
Gaggle.
$1 million idea.
No.
Gaggle.
But you know how it's called like a murder of crows? Everyone just murder
Murder.
It just says murder.
with a crow.
But you're like
In cursive.
you're like it's ironic. Like
Yeah.
gather. What you didn't get
Like
that?
a joke with like the flying crow.
Yeah.
All right,
it
Nick's
says-
been listening to too much Incubus.
I have been.
He's been going through an Incubus phase. Only because A Crow Left of the Murder is
Yeah.
the album you've been listening
yeah.
to. For
Good
those
album.
who aren't big Incubus fans.
No, yeah. Did you know in Chinese they have all these words that you would use basically in the same way, like a gaggle of geese, a herd of deer. But they use it for inanimate objects. So you would, whenever you're talking about like electronical objects, you have a blank of that.
Do you know what it is? Give me an example in Chinese.
So
I love hearing you speak Chinese.
okay.
So exotic.
Zhan is for there's no rule to it because it's an ancient language. So Zhan is for things that squiggle. So for example, rivers and jeans are in the same group because they go like this. They
Squiggle.
They
Like
squiggle.
jeans, like blue jeans.
Like blue jeans
When
that you
they're
would
hung
wear.
up, they squiggle, and so
Yeah,
do rivers.
yeah. And then
Whoa.
What?
I know. So you have to know the correct word to talk about those things, especially if you're giving like a number amount. But there is a universal word to say all of that. But it's called "g." It's just "g." And so you would say like the number 2, "g," any object. So you have 2 of those things.
So do they have like a couple and a few?
Sort of, but you know how we say a versus one? Like I have one friend versus a friend. They actually have one for 2, not one. So you can. It's called liang. So you would some things you just say, I have a pair of, basically, but you would have to know what you're talking about. It's actually really
So
complicated.
like a pair. Like I have a pair of shoes.
Yeah, but
That
like
technically means like a one unit.
yeah, it's different, and it's all so Chinese is all based all on context. So you have words that help you add context to what you're talking
I'm
about.
so bad at context clues. I would never make it.
It's interesting, but
You know, that's something.
or like things that are flat. So like a desk and a piece of paper are in the same one.
This is blowing my mind.
I know, it's really
I thought
interesting.
you studied Latin for 4 years.
That was high school.
Yeah, you did.
And then I did Chinese and
Oh, and then I heard you decorated your last apartment.
in Asian stuff because me and my buddy Max, we spent a lot of time in Asia together.
Dope.
And every time we were like in hostels, we were just like really inspired by like Asian architecture and like home decor. And it's weird in
it's
Japan.
beautiful.
Japan just does space differently than we do.
Well, there's such intention behind it.
Such intention and Japan, and this is even reflected in their food. It's like they exemplify when simplicity is the ultimate sophistication.
Yeah.
They are simple yet complex and complex yet simple and just everything that they do. And it's highly intentional
Right.
and highly efficient.
Well, you
and we
told
could just
me
never.
They don't have divisions between their rooms.
Well, yeah.
of, right?
Yikes.
The space between rooms is different. Ours is way more compartmentalized, which I think is definitely reflective of like the logic that we use when we think of things. And like Westerners are a lot more analytical and a lot more this goes there, that goes there.
Well, I like privacy. Like, I need my room.
Well, I mean, they still have bedrooms, but like, I don't know, like they're just rooms are different. The way that they use space is just totally different. And sometimes I was like hard for me to understand like what the purpose of the room was, which is really interesting.
Like, what are we doing here?
You know? Yeah, exactly.
Well, you told me they would like put like a dining room table almost like in a hallway.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Or like
Like-
sometimes like the living room and kitchen would be the same thing.
Weird.
Or a bedroom and or they would have these weird like a mudroom and a bathroom would kind of be the same thing, and then they would almost be like wet rooms where just whenever we would use like wet things or like, you know.
See, we would never do that because like our wet rooms are like where the laundry is. But if I was like going to the bathroom in a big space like a wet room, I would feel on display, or just like it would be too open.
A lot of times villages like almost like garages and kitchens could be the same thing, which could also be the living room.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's not to say that they're like sleeping in the garage.
Well, in Summit County, you kind of have to use your spaces like that.
Yeah. So, but out here,
I mean, a garage goes for $1,300 a month out here.
no, it really actually.
Actually, we know someone who does pay $1,200
Oh yeah.
for the like above a garage. Yeah.
Kaylee
But it's
lives
nice,
like, you
it's
know, those
nice.
Wellington neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Our friend Kaylee, and her place is awesome, and she got kicked out of her apartment, so it was a last minute thing. And she's decorated it beautifully, but it's like a studio above a garage.
Oh, I know those.
And she
Yeah.
doesn't have a kitchen. It's like a hot plate, and it's tiny. And yeah, it's $1,200. Do you know what you would even get for $1,200 in New York City, in LA? It'd actually be nice. Like people think that like it's so funny. Like I'm in New York housing groups, LA housing groups, and then like Aspen and Summit County housing groups. And it is hilarious to me to watch these people in LA like complain about prices. And I'm like, they don't understand it. Like I have friends literally living in like dirty lock off, like dingy apartments for like $2,000 a month.
They just like there was an article that just came out that was saying that we were the most expensive like zip code to live in.
Summit County?
Yeah.
Or how
It has
over
to be-
Aspen?
It has to be Aspen. Isn't it?
I think it's because there's less like apartments here and more homes.
That is
so
true.
the average price of like to rent a whole home here is probably $3,500 a month
Yeah.
and up. And so the lack of like apartments and like single units, like it makes the average go way up.
Wait, actually,
I think that would make
I
sense.
think that makes sense because
There's actually a lot of employee housing within Aspen.
well, there's actually like apartment sort of high rises in Aspen, a few of them.
Wow.
Yeah, like we knew people who lived in apartment complexes,
Right,
whereas
right.
like in
full-on
downtown
complexes.
Breckenridge, we don't have apartment complexes.
No.
And in Frisco doesn't have any.
No. So we found out, which is really crazy. I don't know if we talked about this, but like, so at first, like we were looking for an apartment in Breckenridge and we were like, wait, like, well, we found somewhere in Frisco and we're like, do we want to live in Frisco? It's 20 minutes outside of Breck. The more people we've talked to, they're like, oh my God, how did you find a place in Frisco?
Yeah.
Because there's only 3,700 residents and you can't build any more houses in Frisco.
It's like 100% developed because it's really only in between like the state national forest and
the other like
6 or
national
9
forest or
or
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like there's
just where 70
absolutely,
meets.
there's a couple lots I think where people own them and they're never going to sell because they don't want to.
Right.
So maybe like a couple more, but like someone was telling me it's completely built and it's basically like a one in, one out.
I think
in
everybody
Frisco.
secretly wants to live in Frisco.
That's what we found out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like hit us. I mean, we're falling in love with it. We're still discovering it, but it's so walkable.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone is like more longtime locals. It's not as bro-y. And I mean, I just think that like we actually like hit the jackpot without knowing we hit the jackpot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
You got a big brown couch. You got
Big brown couch.
that fits in a big apartment in Frisco.
It's a huge apartment. It's completely newly renovated. So I don't know how we happened upon that.
Well,
I, mean,
actually,
Divine
I was
timing.
aggressive.
you
but-
were aggressive. You started not. Have you heard this? Have I told you this, Zach? No. Okay, so
Everyone's
those
like,
of
"Oh
you
my
who
God,
don't know."
how did you get an apartment in Frisco? And it's like, well,
Okay, so-
Francesca's a psychopath who doesn't take no for an answer. So the landlord like hadn't sent us the address. I knew that she was doing showings that day, but she hadn't gotten back to us. I guess she got back to other people about like when she was going to show it and where it was. But I looked at the photos and we drove around Frisco and we found it.
And then Francesca started knocking on the neighbors' doors to get the landlord's number.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that's how competitive it is out
No.
here.
So I acted like she like forgot to give us the number, but like we needed to get a hold of her. And I was like, do you know Jeanette? Can I have her number? But then also sucking up to the neighbors. So, because Jeanette's also their landlord. So they would be like, hey, we met these people and they're really cool. So I'm like, what do you guys do? Look at your gorgeous place. Oh my God, let me talk to your dog.
We met these saucy Sibz.
Yeah. So I literally, so then I'm like, I think that's why we got it because the neighbors really liked us. And I think they told Jeanette, like, hey, if you're going to choose someone, I would choose them.
These
so
like
now,
nice people seem. I also feel like siblings are like more palatable than.
Oh, then yeah.
Like
yeah, because
dirtbags.
it's like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like couples or randoms that you don't know if they're going to be friends.
Right.
And like I really sold us as like we run a company together. We work from home.
Right.
We're very chill.
The mayor's our personal reference.
Yes.
Like, who wouldn't want to rent you guys?
Yeah. And also like I think people are like, oh, like I have kids and like, wow, it's so cool that you and your brother are so close and you guys like look out for each other. And I was like, yeah, like I literally sent her a line, Nick. And I was like, I go, it's just like so wonderful when like your sibling is like just this clean, he's like a clean, respectful, like person to live with. And it just makes it so much easier. So I don't have to like deal with roommates.
Well, my mom always said squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yes.
You gotta like,
Yeah.
you gotta get in there and you gotta keep on being like, I'm interested.
Yeah. Well,
And, like-
we had been on couches for almost a month and you can only like ask your friends for favors for so long.
Right.
And let out of your car for so long. And like, I mean, Nick, you had a girl break down because at work the other day because a lot of people are having to leave the county because they've been homeless for 2 months and they've got to go home, leave the state.
Yeah, no, actually she just had to like quit and like or like resign, I guess. But I feel like we all know people that have happened to. Especially you. So how long have you been in the county?
I am coming up on 8 years.
Oh wow, okay. So geez, I couldn't even imagine owning. What was like buying the house like?
So, so many other people have like horror stories of like trying to find a house here, but I got super lucky.
Yeah, that like people have been looking for years.
So this is a deed restricted community that you have to apply for and you have to essentially win a lottery. So they do like a whole like a ball in the cage with the handle where they're spinning it. And like, if your number gets picked.
Are you joking?
No.
Like actually ball in the cage.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like you have to win a lottery to get in these houses. And some other lady won this unit and then she backed out of it. And I hit up a friend who's also a real estate agent. And I was like, hey, I'm thinking about buying a house. She's like, Zach, I have something and you have to be under contract in a week. I was like, oh shit. So I didn't have to get in the lottery or anything, but like just hearing everybody in this neighborhood, which a lot of them I'm pretty close with, like it's tough. Like there's no inventory in this town. Like,
yeah, that's the thing is it's like, even if you want to spend more than New York, LA, San Francisco to live here, it's like you just can't, like, unless you get very, very lucky. It's like, sure, you might be fine spending $5,000 for a room. Like in Aspen, it's like $4,000 to $6,000 for a room right now. And like, it's like, even if you're willing to spend that, you can't because there's not an apartment available. All right, we're going to take a pause. All right, everyone. We are back from our fifth intermission. We've all pottied. We, the second bottle of wine has been poured, but this like little Italian red blend. So it's a Montestrell. I just pronounced that wrong.
Montestrell, yeah.
70%, 20% Syrah,
Love a Syrah.
10% Petit Verdot, not Bordeaux.
That's what I'm
Verdot.
tasting. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I don't know
So,
anything about wine.
After, I just put up a meme the other day that was like, yes, I can tell it's a white. I'm getting white on my palate. But no, so not the whole reason, because Zach is in himself such a vibe, and we just wanted to have his commentary on here.
Stop.
Well, everyone always says the podcast is like hanging out, and we come hang out at House of Vibes every day. And like, I feel like our conversations in themselves, we're like, wait, like we have to start recording these. So, but Zach is, again, a vibe in himself and owns House of Vibes. And we wanted to hear and learn more about that. So why don't you tell us what House of Vibes is
Yeah.
and how it came about? Because now you're just a little homeowner, business owner, entrepreneur out
I
here.
know. It all just like
You're such an
happened.
adult.
This might be a little long-winded,
No,
but
that's what we're here for.
so House of Vibes, we opened in March 1st of 2021. So we're coming up on a year of being
We're
open.
going to have a party.
I know, because we haven't done that yet. But it's a blend of a coffee shop and a curiosity store.
I love that word curiosity to describe it.
Because it
Thank
says
you.
coffee and curio.
I appreciate that because we've had people walk in and be like, so what's the curio part? I'm like,
Look around.
yeah, have a look.
Yeah.
The
I don't know. Just like open your eyes and look up.
Right.
the taxidermy duck isn't speaking to you.
Yeah, like, oh, you're just like so accustomed to three-headed ducks that this isn't curious enough.
Well, there is one duck named Sebastopol. I've named him. I can't afford him right now because I'm supposed to be smart with my decisions, financial decisions. And Nick told me I didn't need to spend $100 on a taxidermy duck. So he is now hanging out behind the register.
But Sebastopol sure is cute.
Yeah. You guys, he's just a little taxidermy, little rubber ducky, but not rubber. He's real.
It's a chick.
It's
Oh, it's not a duck.
it is a duck. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a baby duck.
Yeah,
It's a chick. Like a little baby duck.
a duckling.
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 That's
Duckling.
I was like,
Yes.
I think chicks are chickens.
Yeah, easy to get confused. Bright yellow and cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, House of Vibes, coffee, curiosities, good vibes, listen to good music. We opened here in Silverthorne, Colorado, where I've lived here for 8 years, and I feel like everywhere has just kind of been the same. Where it's like ski theme, snowboard theme. Like here's vintage French posters of ladies on wooden skis, and it's like we get it. We like snow and skiing and stuff here. So it was like, let's get away from that and like let's do something a little bit different. So there's House of Vibes. Like I started upstairs at High Country Healing. I was a bud tender selling weed at the dispensary that's right above us for 8 years. Well, going up 7 years. I get a little carried away. But so House of Vibes, the space that we're in used to be the medical marijuana dispensary.
Oh.
And after being with High Country Healing for so long, I teamed up with the owner of High Country Healing to open up that space since we were already leasing it. And there is House of Vibes. Like,
Yeah, because weren't you just like, because I've heard a little bit of your story from our friend M. She was like, he was like, hey, we're not going to do anything with this. Wasn't he thinking of like selling the space?
he was thinking about, there were all sorts of things that came up. It was like, he kind of like put it in me and my partner, well, my business partner's hands. He was like, what do we do to make money in this space? And we were like, oxygen bar, ice cream shop. So we brainstormed.
God, this town has enough ice cream shops.
I know, but not enough oxygen bar. No, but I mean, we were brainstorming for a while, and it was kind of funny because like right when we kind of landed on the coffee shop idea, my brother in Tennessee, he called me to tell me that he was opening a coffee roasters. Little River Coffee Roasters.
Okay.
And I was like, well, we're thinking about a coffee shop.
Oh, I love it.
That's so synchronistic.
It was like the same week. And so I was like, okay, we're going to do a coffee shop. We're going to carry my brother's coffee all the way from Tennessee. It's not like we're going to have all the same coffee that's in this town already. Like bring out something new. So I'm including my family in it.
I did not know that.
That's awesome. My brother has a roasting house outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, and has really great coffee that he sends us. We get shipments every week. Like, so it's still freshly roasted, single origin, organic, ethical coffee.
No way.
Yeah.
I knew about your brother, but I had forgotten. But then like Nick and I are a little bit like psychopathic about like organic coffee because people don't know this. A lot of people think that you have a crash from coffee. They're like, oh, coffee gives me a crash. But if you drink good coffee, it's like good for you. No, you're not having a crash from coffee. You're having a crash because it's sprayed with pesticides.
Yeah.
It sits in a silo for weeks and it's full of mold.
Formaldehyde.
Like all this stuff. Like it is one of the most contaminated crops that we have like in the world. And people don't realize that. You're like coffee and caffeine is, you know, I'm sure there's like conflicting nutritional evidence. I'm not, you know, an expert. But like coffee's healthy for you. It's good for you. It gives you a great buzz if it's good coffee.
Full of antioxidants. Like,
no, it is true that coffee is like one of the most chemically treated plants that we actually consume. Like more so than corn.
No, it's insane. And like I follow like a couple like wellness influencers that are super pro coffee and caffeine for the benefits that it has to your brain and your body. But when you drink shitty pesticide-laden coffee, of course you're going to feel like shit.
Right. Well, and behind oil and data at this point, it's one of the largest traded commodities in the world. Coffee still is. So, of course, there's going to be bad companies that are just trying to pump that out. But my brother and like the manager of his roasting house, they hand source the coffee beans. Ashley is like who's really roasting it there. Yeah. And it's mostly from women-ran farms.
You're kidding.
No.
This makes it so much cooler.
And super small farms.
Which countries?
So I mean, the only ones that I carry in House of Vibes right now are going to be, it's a Costa Rican light roast. The Costa Rican is from the Tarazu region. I think I'm saying that right. And the Tarazu region used to be, essentially that whole region was owned by Starbucks. So they were the only ones getting those beans from there. And when he opened his coffee shop, they got some of the first shipments that weren't proprietary. And
how interesting.
Yeah. So
how did he make those connections?
Ashley, who's running the roasting house, she's been in coffee for a really long time. So she's been doing the magic there with the connections and everything.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so he is telling you he's opening a coffee roasting house, and you're like, hey, I might be opening a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here we are.
Well, okay, I'm going to ask you, though, so with the curiosities, and you guys, when you walk in here, there's literally crystals, there's local artists. And I know like a lot of coffee shops, it's not like a totally new concept of like selling things from local artists. They may have paintings on the wall. They may sell a couple earrings, but this is like different. It is everything's for sale. Everything's so funky and handpicked and a little witchy.
Totally. Almost to the point of like a museum, to where even your the coffee bar is set up like a jewelry case, as if it was, you know, you're selling precious items, which you are. Yeah.
And I only know this from M. Weirdly, these two like passions of yours sort of came together. Your family has a background in curating things.
Yeah. So growing up, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I grew up on the carnival.
Wait, she did, but I forgot. Yeah. Oh my God, elaborate.
Okay, I did not know this, but I see it.
Nick's like, you totally look like a carney.
No. It's just like the fun, whimsical, interesting,
quirky,
funky,
but even like quirky in like a weird way, like a three-headed duck. That's very carnival.
Yeah, like sideshowy.
Yes.
And so the weird and against the grain and what's the word I'm looking for?
Almost like not despair, but you know, like the weirdness of like, cause kind of like the death, the funky, the fascination with the odd.
Yeah. Like the odd, like it's always been like around me when I'm growing up. Like,
okay.
Yeah. Took some of my first steps like at a carnival. Like meanwhile, like in a sideshow, there's like a 14-year-old like hammering nails into his nose, and like we would have Snake Lady. We would have like a man that turns into a gorilla. That wasn't actually, but terrify people. Like
So wait, did your parents own? Was this a traveling carnival?
Yeah. So
and did your parents own it, or were they in it?
Well, they started out. I mean, it went back to my great uncle and my grandma. She was Snake Lady.
Oh my gosh.
one of
This
my
is getting so great.
one of my we call her our great aunt, but like I don't know how she ended up in the family or on the carnival, but she was Princess Olga, the world's smallest lady. Of course, not the world's smallest lady, but like she was
For what people would see in America.
a dwarf that traveled with the carnival, and like people would pay to look at her. And then so it all kind of stemmed from that. And then my parents started on like traveling and doing rides, and then they started out running like the management for carnivals, so getting locations and setting up the midway and like showing people where to go. And
Wait, there's a lot of money in carnivals.
it's making a comeback right now.
No, people don't know this. So we have a family friend whose dad, just for the summer, would do, like the dragon swing? The big thing, like almost looks like an arch, and you like drop people and they just swing.
Yeah.
He would make enough money in the 3 months that he would do this with a carnival over the summer that like he would be able to pay for his kids to live in a nice house in the fancy part of St. Louis and go to the fancy private schools.
Oh, absolutely.
And like it would be like, what does your dad do? And they're like, oh, he's like a carney 3 months out of the year. And that's like how we afford our lifestyle.
Right.
And we were always like, wait, what? Like, I don't know if I'm totally telling that in complete truth, but
No, I mean, that's the way it goes.
I don't know. Obviously, I don't know people's money and their finances, but that was like, I just knew his dad was a carney and that his mom was a teacher and they were very well off.
Is carney an offensive term?
Oh.
No, I don't think it is.
I think there's connotation, but
Yeah, it's like depending on how you use it, I think. But growing up in the carnival, like it doesn't offend me when people say, I mean, I'm not easily offended, so maybe I shouldn't speak for everybody, but like, no, I don't think so.
Okay, so let's get into this.
so
So did you travel like full time, like just in the summers or when you went to school?
Yeah, so we would travel in the summers, and there was even a traveling school. Like my brother ended up going to that like for a few months out of the year, but it got to the point where my parents would leave like 2 months before us, and then we had a nanny essentially that like would watch us and keep us in regular schools, and then we'd go meet up with the family. So yeah, interesting, like weird
Background. This like now that if you were to walk into House of Vibes, which I hope anyone listening to this, that's the first place you need to go in Summit County. Breckenridge, it's fine. There's a mountain. It's gorgeous. There's skiing. There's ski houses, but they're all, Breckenridge is cool, I would say. And like all
It's
of Summit
beautiful,
County. It's
and-
beautiful, and we have such like different, it's like divier. That's why we love this mountain. Because
Yeah.
to me, like when we moved to Aspen, it's fancy. But like here, it just feels comfortable.
yeah.
And everyone's super open and friendly and stuff, but you can like Breck, I feel like, I think all mountain towns, they attract a certain type of person, and there is a lot of escapism out here, but everyone is a character. Everyone has a story. Like when I was like, oh, I quit my job on Wall Street and I moved to the mountains, and now I'm like working at a bar and trying to figure out what I want to do, and I want to do a podcast with my brother. That's like not a ridiculous story out here.
No, not
It's
at
like
all.
par for the course.
But I think there's also like something like that I wanted to bring to this county where there's a lot of people who have done that, but like live in these like certain structured lifestyles, and they think that they know like what makes them comfortable. And then in House of Vibes, you could walk in, see a 3-headed duck, and you're like, wait, this is cute. Like in this set, like I didn't know I could be attracted to this, like, or find this like as a decorative item, and like expand like people's kind of mind on
No, totally.
what's normal and what's not.
Because out here, there's a lot of like, I would say there's so many art galleries and things like that out here, but they're kind of the same. It's like woodworking and portraits of the mountain and like the lady who like takes thrift store flannels and like dip dyes them.
Right.
But this is like, it is a definite different vibe.
Well, I think like a lot of people Colorado has a lot of like stereotypes associated with it. But I feel like Summit County, it's kind of hard to pin down. And when I moved to Summit County, before I did, I was expecting it to be way more coffee shop and healing crystals and vegetarian than it was.
Right.
And it's actually like really a little bit more sporty than it is like, let's say granola. Whereas like I feel like the
100%.
granola parts of Colorado definitely exist. That's going to be more like Manitou Springs. That's going to be more like Salida.
Boulder.
Where?
Boulder.
Oh, Boulder. Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly like Boulder. But so when I moved to Breckenridge, it was almost like more
Like pit viper.
steezy.
Steezy.
Oh, that's a word people listening might not know. Steezy. How would you describe that?
I'm not a snow sports guy.
No, wait.
but
Steezy has an exact definition. I forgot it.
It's style with ease.
Ah.
That's where I've heard it comes from. It's just like the guy.
So steez.
I think
Style
of
with ease.
steez as like really long hoodies.
Long hoodies, skateboarder, snowboarder, kind of looks like shit, but also kind of hot.
Yeah. Like,
But
why am I into this?
And like drinks some like beer, but they're not like essential oils.
Right.
Yeah, it's not Sedona.
It's not Sedona.
Something happens to my style when I come here, and it's like right now I'm wearing a cut off Basquiat. How do you pronounce that artist? I don't know. Whatever. I'm wearing a cut off
never
long
seen
sleeve.
it.
I'm wearing a long sleeve hood, like long t-shirt that I made into a crop top. And like I would normally never wear this, but
That's
in Summit
steezy.
County, it's
Steezy.
steezy. I almost like dress a little skater chick when like in Aspen, I would never wear this out of the
Right.
house.
But yeah, I just have never worn so many hoodies since I've lived in Summit County.
Right.
And almost you can kind of tell when like people are from out of town or tourists because they're dressed so nice. And they're just like, in heels or something like that. Where heels are definitely not steezy.
No.
And they're not practical. There's snow everywhere, and you're gonna eat shit. I had like some
Yeah.
heeled, like over the knee, like suede booties when I moved out here, and I almost died trying to walk around in them.
Everybody's like, where's this girl from?
Yeah, and I was like, we have to retire these. They're just it's not the vibe. But okay, so your family, you were in a traveling carnival. I just feel like that's a whole podcast that we need to expand on. But
We have a part 2, is that?
I think we may need to. But then they also own museums.
Yeah, so after the carnival, like we kind of left that, and then my dad was opening attractions essentially. So where I was born was Cocoa Beach, which is an hour from Orlando, and then there's International Drive, which is like all putt-putt golf courses and like tourist traps essentially.
There's like a string of putt-putt golf courses.
Oh, and golf go-kart tracks and hot dog stands and like just weird attractions that like when you're on vacation and need something to do, like you go like ride those slingshot rides.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, Nick, this is very Lake of the Ozarks.
No, that's exactly the vibe that I was
It's
getting.
like Branson.
Yes,
Exactly,
so we grew
Branson.
up with
Yeah.
a house at the Lake of the Ozarks,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
would go to like the carney, like hand built like mazes that like you actually might die in.
Oh, that's
because
the
if
best
you
part,
can't
yeah.
find your way out, there's like hidden doors, and our parents would like go to the bars, and we'd be like doing the like the bumper boats, but then we would also like get stuck in the maze, and you're like, wait, there's no one watching us. There's
Except
no
for carnies.
like, yeah, exactly. But
I'm
like
sure that they have
we could get
lives.
lost in here. Like it's one of those things that you're like, wait, like is this up to code? And no, it's not.
No. That's part of the appeal.
Exactly, absolutely.
No. Yeah,
The danger is part of the appeal. The maze might collapse on you, but
Lack of safety equals fun.
absolutely.
I'm kidding.
no, you're not.
Well,
We
I
love
meant
a
like
little-
no, I just meant like that wasn't like that seemed like a very definite statement that I put out into the universe.
But no, I'm saying like I feel like one of the things like we always say
Oh, yeah.
is like, and I think a little bit how we get ourselves into such situations, which led to this podcast, is like we love a little danger.
We love a little danger. Wait,
Yeah.
do you agree?
Absolutely. Like, why do it if it's not like a little bit sketchy?
Someone once asked me what my type was in men, and I literally just came out of my soul. I don't even remember. I just go, oh, I don't know, like bearded danger.
Bearded danger.
Probably runs a carnival. You know what I mean? Get in this motorcycle cage. I'm like, damn.
See what happens.
See what happens. Exactly.
But our parents also raised us like that. Like so growing up at the Ozarks, and then my dad grew up like his family owned grocery stores, but like on a farm in like kind of like rural Illinois.
Is that where you're from? Illinois?
No, we're from St. Louis, Missouri, but my dad's from Illinois.
Missouri. I
Yeah.
would have never guessed that.
And well,
St. Louis is different than Missouri.
yeah. And we have to tell people we're from a city. It's 3 million people. St. Louis is big. But no, we grew up like I would get off the carnival rides. Like mom and dad always said, like this is like how they describe my personality. Is I would get off the carnival rides bawling my eyes out because I was so scared and so traumatized. And then I would beg my dad through my tears to take me again. And he's like,
How many cries did you have that day?
Yeah, I've always been a crier.
Let's count.
But
There was
like
the zipper, the gravitron.
but like through my like bawling, I'd be like, I want to go again, Dad. And he'd be like, Francesca, like I can't like take you on this ride again. They're gonna think this is child abuse. But I loved the thrill and being scared. It's like one of my favorite things.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
I mean, I guess it kind of makes a lot of sense, but
Yeah, no, like I love being scared even like as I'm being scared. Like I just like will keep doing it. Intermission number 75. We've come back. You guys were having way too much fun over here in this space. He's really like curated a space for us to just really let loose and chat. We keep having side conversations and we're like, oh yeah, we're doing a podcast. We're not just like hanging out chatting.
we're out of wine, so we're onto the Topo Chico.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry, I just
Oopsie.
I need like a beverage. And
Did
he's
I
like,
do
look, I
that?
have Topo Chico hard seltzers. Not bad. Tropical mango. They're gluten-free, guys. Okay, so your parents got away from the carnival. And then between Orlando, that's what we were talking about.
They started attractions.
Yes.
So when I think it was like 1996, they started Wonderworks. It's like an upside down science museum.
Okay.
And
What does upside down mean?
like the whole building is upside down. And like when you walk into the lobby, like the lobby's on the ceiling. And
How does one even like you've got to hire people and you're like, listen, they're like, listen, I have a vision and I need this lobby on the ceiling.
yes. And I know what it sounds like. Like they're crazy, like hippies, like drug induced, but like they're the most conservative people you'll ever fucking meet.
Shut
and they're like,
up.
we see a niche for this.
Mhm.
Here's an upside down building.
They're like, we're just business people.
Right. So like my whole life I've been growing up in like weird spaces and like seeing it work, but like I'm also not accustomed to normal, as some people, like a lot of people would say, like just like it needs to be unique to keep my interest. Like it can't just be like a coffee shop with some like big couches or just like coffee and like
normal's not like a good word because like what is normal, but you're saying like I'm not doing anything typical.
Yeah. No, I don't want it just to be average. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it needs to be a little bit out there for me to keep my attention and
Entertaining, full of personality, something to talk about.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
You're not going to go, it's impossible, I would say, to go into House of Vibes and not like either feel something or be intrigued or to open up a book, which I have a question. For the books that you sell, do you not like or do you encourage people to open and flip through those books and put them back?
oh, absolutely. Like,
Okay, because sometimes
open those books. Like,
I'll like open up a book and I'll be flipping through it when I'm there because like when Nick and I were homeless, like what you do is you hang out at coffee shops all day until you go to work at night. And so I'm like, am I overstaying my welcome in reading this book, but then I'm not paying for the book?
no, read the book.
Okay,
Like,
because then you feel like you're using something. I'm like, should I leave a tip for the book?
no,
Like, you know?
like I just want it to be like different than like, you know, you could go pick up like another book at a coffee shop and it's just like motivational, or a coffee shop book like here's Times images from World War II. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be like that. Like it could be fun and captivating. And like my favorite one that we have right now is The Field Guide to Dumb Birds of America.
Okay.
Yes.
I sent this to Nick because we have a friend who is a professional birder. And the dumb field guide to birds in America, it's hilarious.
Dude, it's so funny. And it like speaks to people that like birds and don't like birds. Like there's a whole chapter called Fuckers. It's like, it's so good. Like,
Well, I've actually been sitting at House of Vibes and watching people flip through the book and just like giggling to themselves.
right?
I'm like, perfect.
Our best-selling book was not like I wrote it or anything, but the best one, like the one that we've sold the most copies of, was pet this fucking puppy. It's
Oh, that's so good.
it's a sensory book for stressed out adults. It's like,
Stop it.
yeah.
Francesca, do you need it? While you watch me move couches.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like you open it up and like there's a little furry spot that you can pet. There's like another page with like pet this fucking blanket, and you pet the
Oh,
blanket.
so it's like literally like
sensory.
texture.
yeah, it's
like
it's a
a-
child's book.
Oh.
Do you remember Pat the Bunny? We used to have a book called Pat the Bunny that was
don't know.
sensory.
It sounds
as
amazing.
kids.
I would
Yeah,
love
I
to
think it
pet
was
the
like a
bunny.
famous book that like most kids in the 90s had. I don't know.
Yeah, you get to pet the puppy. You get to scream into the endless void, which is just like a black page. Like,
Really, it says to do that?
yeah.
See, I kind of need this because without my little puppy right now, like I would say I'm a little unwell.
Perhaps.
Like I would say it's like a little bit of stress in our lives that I don't have my little Mexican street dog at all times.
Oh, gotta have the Mexican street dog. Za?
Yeah, Za.
Zaza.
Have you ever met Za?
No.
Oh my god.
I've heard about Zaza though.
Yeah, Za's great.
Zaza.
Well,
Do we have any other questions for Zach? Zach, do you have anything else you want to say? I think we're gonna have to have a part 2, but
we'd love to have you on again.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. No, I think you guys covered it. I think, yeah, we did it.
we're just out here.
Come visit House of Vibes, Silverthorne, Colorado, 191 Blue River Parkway. Thank you, Mom, for all the interior design inspiration.
So Zach is also, we're somehow going to like pay him, get him involved. He's like,
No.
he's already giving us stuff out of his garage. He's,
Curating our spot.
yeah, like we need some help. And stay tuned.
Got the hook up on bat skeletons.
Yeah, we just have bat skeletons everywhere. I told Nick, like, I went to Target and, like, I was like, okay, I was a little drunk. I bought, like, a lot of hanging macrame situations.
Which I don't mind.
No, Nick was for it. I also, like, spent $600 at Target. And then I was like, hey, Nick, like, this is for our space. You should just, like, Venmo me half of that. And he was like, okay, Francesca. He's like, I wasn't there. I didn't ask
Here
for
we go.
9 macrame hanging plants.
Drunk Francesca goes to Target.
And then insists I pay for it. Where's the
I
lie?
did send you a text. I was on mushrooms and I just said, just buy shit. Because
He did. I was like sending him
you were
things.
asking me things like, should we get this or this and this? I was like, Francesca, I don't know what day it is. I think I just get kicked out of the bar. Just buy shit.
You're like, get out of the Chip and Joanna section of Target.
Yeah, he did though. He told me to just buy shit, and I took that as I support your decisions and I trust you, and I will pay for half of it.
You took that as here's 8 macrame hangings.
Yes. No. You're gonna have to help us like how we put like hooks in the ceiling because like
Oh, I got you.
want it to like I want you to have to use a machete to get into the
Confidence. I
apartment.
love it. I'm machete to get in the apartment.
Yeah.
Wait, I fucking love that. Oh, sorry. Just hold up. Can you just duck under this real quick? It's a giant taxidermy bat. Please don't touch it.
It's the 6-foot antler chandelier.
Yeah, Nick, did we talk about it?
We talked about it on the last
I'm
one.
still upset about it. Nick would not let me buy the antler chandelier. I had someone try to buy it from me. This girl in Summit. She was like, hey, that antler chandelier, where'd you get it? And I was like, listen, it was a one-off thing. It was out of a mansion. And Nick wouldn't let me buy it.
Well, that's what you got to do up here. Buy it and then resell it.
Yeah.
That would have funded your Target trip.
It actually would have. I actually just said yes to probably a 5,000 pound solid
Oh my God.
giant wood dining table.
It's massive. It's bigger than the couch. No.
It's almost bigger than the couch. You guys, this looks like it was in King Arthur's court. It is positively medieval.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. Zach, bring us the truck. Yeah. Put one of the legs in it.
I'm going to have
Boundaries,
to hire...
boundaries.
I'm kidding.
Boundaries. No, we are going to have to hire like numerous men.
No.
This
Fuck
one
yeah.
says...
Pull up grinder.
Pull up grinder. Listen, I've got a table to move and my sister is going to have a meltdown. Like, but I need it. It's $100. That's a great
That's a
price.
great deal.
I mean, considering it's 1,000 years old, yeah.
Yeah. Coming from a castle, like, that's a great deal.
Listen,
And you can resell that for...
no, if I refinish this, like I'm going to whitewash it. Although Zach is thinking walnut. I was thinking rich mahogany just because of like Anchorman, because I want to say my apartment smells of rich mahogany.
I love that.
There's candles for that.
I like that.
Well,
We're going to close.
This was great.
can we do a
Until
little
next
cheers
time.
to?
Yeah. Cheers
Thanks,
and
Saucy
thanks.
Sibz.
Ooh, thanks for coming on, Zach.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Let's curate a photo at House of Vibes, and then we're going to post it on the Instagram this week.
All right, we got this.
Perfect. So, like, wear your best.
Well, let me know what day because I'm not showing up to picture day without
Like
knowing.
tomorrow we come. He has to, it is almost 10 p.m. at his apartment, and he has to work at 6:30 in the morning. Nick goes, "Where do you work?"
That's not what I said.
You got me
No,
good,
he
fucker.
meant where is 6:30 a.m. because that like time and space doesn't exist to him.
I was like, Nick, you know where I work.
All right, we love you
good?
guys. Until next time, tell us if you love this long format situation.
This is our longest one yet.
Woo!
Not bad.